Hey y'all, welcome to the Fake Up Artist channel. I'm here to help guide you learning basic makeup techniques so we can all fake it till we make it. Remember, makeup has no rules and is ultimately your decision. Makeup knows no age, gender, or occasion or location. If you want to wear full glam, run to the grocery store, that's okay. And if you want to wear no makeup to your own wedding, that is okay. It is ultimately your decision. For today's video, I'm just going to go over my daily routine. So let's get to it. All right, y'all. So we're going to start with my just kind of everyday go-to look. I do change up my eyeshadows every day, just depending on what I'm feeling like. But the general principle and the approach is the same every day. It's and we'll get more into that on the video where we talk about eyeshadows. But I just wanted y'all to see kind of like the everyday go-to look, and that it's pretty simple. It doesn't take too long. I started my skin prep. I've washed my face. I put on my moisturizer. First thing I'm going to do is use this Tula Skincare Rose Glow and Get It. So this is a balm, and it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it. So you can see just a very, very slight shimmer. And what it is it is cooling, and it gives just a little bit of shine up underneath the eye. And I did not sleep well last night, so I really feel like I need it. It just helps you look a little bit more awake. I have my mirror set up right here, so if you see me looking this way, that's what I'm doing. Just gives a little bit of a brighter look up underneath the eyes. Like I actually did get some good sleep last night, but I really didn't. Okay, moving on. I'm going to use some primer. The Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. It's a primer for oily skin. So I'm just going to rub this all over my skin. I'm avoiding getting too close to my eye area because the primer is drying, and most people's under eye skin is already pretty dry, so you don't want to put a drying primer underneath your eye. And then plus, if you got to put on concealer and everything under your eyes, you don't want to put too many layers there, because that's when you start getting like a cakey look. So you only want to put the necessary layers under your eyes. So we can move on to the makeup, the good stuff. Okay, so I use a tinted moisturizer. I'll do a couple pumps of the tinted moisturizer, and I'll mix in like a half a pump or so of my foundation, and that just gives it just a little bit more coverage. And I'll do this on the back of my hand, so we'll do like 1.5 pumps of that. Today I'm going to be using the True Match Nude L'Oreal foundation. It's a serum foundation, which sometimes doesn't go well with oily skin, but I've not had a problem with this one, and it's got a little bit of a glow to it as well, so it'd be really good for dry skin as well. Okay, so I just got all that on the back of my hand. I'm just gonna mix it up. Okay, so I've mixed it up. It's on the back of my hand, and what I'm gonna do is get my foundation brush, and I just go in right at the edge, get some on my brush, and then I just start tapping it in. I like to hold my brush like this because it lets me not put so much pressure on my skin. The key to a seamless makeup look is thin layers without a whole lot of pressure and a lot of patience. You don't want to go slapping a bunch on at one time. That's when you're going to get a cakey look a patchy look. And that goes with anything you're putting on your skin. You want to start off in thin layers. That was one of the mistakes that I was making for the longest time, is I would go in with these super, super thick layers of whatever I was putting on my face, whether it be the foundation or eyeshadows. I didn't really understand the importance of taking my time. I'm just patting that all over. For most people, your forehead doesn't really have a whole lot to cover, and so you can really go in with a light layer up here. All right, so our foundation is done. The next thing I'm going to do is concealer. This is my favorite concealer right now. It's by Natasha Denona. It's her High Glam concealer. It is so creamy and it gives great coverage. I really, really, really like this. I haven't had it very long, but I have been enjoying it as much as one can enjoy a concealer, I guess. All right, so I'm just spot concealing, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it underneath my eyes. I've got a concealer brush, so I'm just going to tap over. Tapping with your brush helps place and spread the product without disturbing the makeup that you've already put down underneath. If you're doing like heavy swipes and everything, you're messing up and moving the product that's underneath whatever you're applying. And we don't want to do that. All right, so concealer's done. The bronzer I'm going to be using today is a cream bronzer. It comes in a stick. It's the Rare Beauty. The shade is Bright Side. I've just put some on the back of my hand. I'm just swirling it around, getting it good and even onto my brush. What I'm going to do is I'm putting it right in the line. If I was going to draw a line from the corner of my mouth to the top of my ear, that's about where I'm going to place. Now that we've got the bronzer on the cheeks, we're going to put it across our forehead near the top. And that's just going to give us a little bit more life to our skin. And give us a little bit of like a bronzed glow. Okay. So, bronzer's done. All right, so for blush, we're going to use Rare Beauty's little cream blush. Isn't this so cute? I like to, when I'm not sure about a product, I like to order it in a mini size if it's available. And what's good about this one is that you have to use such a small amount that really a mini is going to last a long time. So it ended up working out well. 3 dots. on each side. And where I figure out where to put my blush, I just go right above where I put my bronzer. And there's different places that you can put your blush depending on what kind of look you're getting or what kind of look you're going after. But I like to do it this way because it just helps bring everything up. And I need that. We're going to take our brush and we're just going to tap. And I am tapping ever so gently, and I'm keeping it up. I'm not traveling down too far. You don't want to end up mixing your bronzer and your blush, because then you'll end up with kind of a muddy look if everything ends up kind of being all one color. And so you want to stay up high. All right, so you see it, just those 3 dots, and we got all that color. All right, so we're gonna do this side. This highlight is by Smashbox, and it is in the color Champagne Pop, and it's a very universally flattering type color. And so what I'm doing is I'm just taking my little fan brush and running it this way. And I like to tap off any of the excess. Okay, and then right here at the very top of my my cheek, I'll just run it ever so smooth and lightly. Okay, and you just see that glow. Sometimes we just need a little glow added to our skin as we get a little older and our skin gets a little bit more dull. Okay, so I'm just tapping gently. I'm going to go down the center of my nose with this, ever so gently, and then ever so gently. I don't like a super shiny tip to my nose. I know some people do, and that is fine. I don't. Okay, so now that our highlight's done, I'm gonna go in with powder. The powder I'm gonna use is Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. Okay, so I've just taken some in my little velour puff, and then go in with your powder. And again, you're just patting, you're not swiping. Okay. And again, I'm just gently patting. Now that our face is done, I'm going to do my eyebrows. I just take some of the NYX brow glue. All right. And then first I just brush them up at an angle. Going in on the other side. I know the trend for brows is to like make them as bushy as possible, which is very refreshing considering that we tried to make them as small as possible in the 90s. Does anybody remember that? Okay. All right, so brows are done. All right, so now let's move into eyeshadow. So one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes for just an everyday look is the ColourPop of Quartz. And it's a cool toned palette. It's got 9 shades with some shimmer. The simplest way to build your eyeshadow look is to get a medium shade, a dark shade, and a shimmer. You do those 3 and you can have a great looking eye, no matter the color scheme. That can apply to blues, purples, browns, pinks, any of it. The same formula for all of them. For my medium shade, I'm going to go in with In the Zone. And I've just got this, it's a fluffy blending brush. And I'm going to dip in there. And just like with foundation, you want to start off light with light pressure, okay? Not too much product on your brush because then you're going to end up with patches that are going to be hard to blend out, okay? So the medium, this is the medium shade. I'm starting, because I have hooded eyes, I'm starting right above my crease. So this area is where I'm going. I tend to start here and just lightly start brushing up and blend. And when I tell y'all I am barely touching my skin, like the lightest of touch. All right, so you see just the first layer, how faint that is. I know it's tedious to do it this way, but if you want a look that ain't patchy, this is how you're gonna have to do it. All right, so we're starting again on this outer side and just blending very softly in. Lightly, starting over here. And just pulling that color in. All right, there's our first layer. All right, so there's 2 layers on that eye. The key is to take your time. Do not rush it, especially when you're just learning. Okay, so first color is down. Now I'm gonna go in with the darker shade. Now again, this is just an everyday look, nothing too dramatic. So I'm gonna go in with this darker brown right here called Granite Access. And I'm going to use this brush just to start. Now, I like using this brush to get the color on to start with because I can kind of stamp it where I want it. And then I go back with a smaller blending brush to blend the color out. So I'm just dipping into that, and I'm just going to stamp I'll pick up just a little bit more. Okay, and now that I feel like I've got a fair amount of color on, I'm going in with this clean blending brush, and very lightly, we're just gonna do little small circles. We're going for a soft look, so nothing too harsh. And I feel like soft looks are good to go with, at least to start with, when you're learning. You know you have to make ugly faces when you do it, because that's just the rule. I don't make the rules. Okay, taking our small blending brush back in and doing our small circles. Both eyes are done with the mattes, the medium color and the darker color. Now, let's get the other eye done. I'm just going to go in and blend. Make sure there's no harsh lines on that top. And again, I'm going very, very gentle because I don't want to move all the product around. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take that brush that we used to stamp. I'm going to pinch it and I'm going to dip it into that first shade in the zone and run it on the bottom lash. Okay, same thing for the other side. Okay, so that's going to be the finished eyeshadow look. Now, what I'm going to do, take my eyeliner. For my eyes, I feel like it looks better if I just do the waterline. The reason I like to tie line is so that it doesn't close off my eyes so much. I do have big eyes, but they're hooded, and so I don't want to make them look any smaller than what they are. And then plus, if you're tight lining, it's not really, you don't have to worry about so much as like the technique of it, as opposed to doing like a lash eyeliner line, because then you're having to worry about like sticking close to the lash line, making it not too thick, and so, you know, not going off in a crazy direction or anything like that. So I just find it easier just to stick to the water lines. Okay, so I just pull my eyelid down a little bit and just run this gently across my waterline. Okay, and then I just go straight up towards my inner, towards my upper waterline. And I carry that all the way across. And it also helps the lashes look thicker. All right, so eyeliner's done. Gonna do some lashes. I'm gonna use the Clio Kill Lash. So I like to work one eye at a time. So I curl my lashes, I like this wand because it's really thin and small, so I'm less likely to jab my eyeball with it or mess up my eye makeup. And for this, for hitting the bottom, that's why this smaller brush works so well. Okay, so that's the finished eye look. All right, last thing is lips. So I'm just taking my NYX lip pencil, and this color is called Dainty Days, and I'm just gonna line my lips. I do overline just a little bit, but I stay on the ridge of my lips. Okay, so as you can see, it's a really light color, and it's just to kind of give me an outline of where to put my lip gloss, not really to add too much color. So lip gloss I'm using is Baby Gloss by Revolution in the color Sweet. All right, so that's the completed look. Easy every day, nothing too glam, nothing too complicated. I promise you can do it.